Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find out what happens when you lock two lightning-fast civilizations in a box and throw away the key, as St4rk, playing as the Gurjaras in purple, takes on DauT, playing as the Berbers in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate enclosed-off surroundings because, like yesterday, we find ourselves on Arena and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age and Castle Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today so I can explain why the hell these sheep are going to be inside this mill in a few seconds. Now, the Gurjaras are a civilization that focuses on man's other four-legged best friends, horses, camels, and elephants. Their camels, their elephant units are created faster. All of their mounted units deal extra bonus damage more and more as the game goes on, as these sheep garrison inside with this one hard-working donkey here. Their camel line units, their elephant archers, can be upgraded to make them much harder to kill with a big +4 boost to their melee armor. And their first unique unit, the Shravamsha Rider, is a very, very fast, I don't know how else to put it, a lightning-fast cavalry unit that can actually dodge enemy projectiles. Now, to support their mounted units on the battlefield against pesky, annoying things like pikemen, halberdiers, although not exactly something I'm expecting to see out of the Berbers, well, then the Gurjaras can field a second unique unit, the Chakram Thrower. This is an infantry unit with a ranged melee attack who throws discs, much like Xena Warrior Princess. And like her disc, like Lucy Lawless's discs, these ones also hit multiple targets at once. Now, in order for the Gurjaras to build up their military, they do start the game, if you notice, with two free berry bushes underneath the town center. They can garrison their livestock. If you take a look at the top left of your screen, 50 food, 51, 52, 53, there you go. It automatically goes up a unit, the more livestock you garrison inside of here. And they can upgrade their entire military industrial complex so that all of their military units cost 25% less food. Speaking of food, we're getting our Borpal here by St4rk, who continues to deforest and depopulate the wildlife around him so that he can go up to Feudal Age. Speaking of going up to Feudal Age, let's take a look at what DauT, our Berber, is doing, a civilization that, like the Gurjaras, pushes its players into the four welcoming hooves of cavalry. All Berber stable units are 15% cheaper in Castle, 20% cheaper in Imperial. Their camel units can be upgraded to regenerate health, much like a Viking Berserker, and their castles can be upgraded to work 25% faster, both of which very, very strongly oh my goodness, benefit their first unique unit, the Camel Archer. This is a mounted archer with a pretty good amount of HP, great speed, and a decent attack bonus against cavalry archers. So I'm hoping, against all hope, that we get to see some elephant archers out of our Gurjara, although they might be easy pickings for these camel archers. Now, starting in Castle Age, the Berbers can also start training a second unique unit, the Genitor. Think of this as a mounted skirmisher that comes with more HP but less range and does cost a little bit more food because you gotta buy carrots for that horse that the skirmisher is on. Now, to help you get your economy up and running as fast as possible, Berber villagers do move 5% faster in Dark Age, and then once you hit Feudal and onwards, they move 10% faster. You'll see at the bottom here 0.84 tiles per second compared to the usual 0.8. Those are the two civilizations. Very, very similar civilizations, if I may say so myself. I'm expecting to see some very fun mounted battles, which, if you know Arena, you know there's not a lot of high ground. I say not a lot of high ground. There's never any high ground. There's a lot of big open spaces, and so cavalry should be pretty entertaining because these two civs, as I've mentioned, and I hate repeating myself so close to when I said something, but they are very, very similar. Both of them, I don't think, have halberdiers, although that's an understatement. The Gurjaras don't even get pikemen. Both of them don't have arbalests, and so some of them have camels with extra armor. Some of them have camels that regenerate HP, and FYI, they both have two unique units apiece. Although the Gurjaras, you could argue, have a third unique unit in that this Camel Scout that can be trained, I believe, in Feudal Age. So the Shravamsha, the Chakram, and the Camel Scout versus the Genitor and the Camel Archer. In any event, let's see a lot of camel toe this game. Let's see a lot of Eos and whatever other sound donkeys and camels and horses and elephants make, because like I said, I don't expect to see any infantry this game. Maybe archers up until Feudal Castle, but I don't know, right as that came out of my mouth, I realize we're probably not going to see that as well, because why? We are on arena. And so generally there is a 3-part meta, a 3-part strategy that the players of these Elos tend to follow. In the first, they rush up to Castle Age so that they can begin building monasteries and collecting the relics. That is stage 2. So stage 1, rush up to Castle Age. Stage 2, fight over the relics with some always awesome to watch micro. And then once all 5 relics are gathered, and by the way, oh man, very close relic to purple, very close relic to blue. And then a bunch of neutral relics here to the top and the bottom. Although, where's the 5th one? What am I missing? There is one 5th one, much closer to purple than it is to blue. Anyway, once they collect all 5 relics, then they start building their big old armies, start expanding out onto the map, placing infrastructure, and then the death begins. Oh man. Always fun to see these random spawnings of a random pine tree. Now, what you want to look at, or what you want to look out for, aside from villagers that are stuck between 2 ferns here and are not moving, is where are the internal resources located and how far away are they from walls? Because the closer they are to walls, the easier they are to lame. This stone is pretty close to a wall, although we'll see what our blue Berber decides to do. You never really know what DauT is going to do. He's got 2 patches of gold in the forward position. His stone is secure to the back, whereas St4rk has his stone exposed to the front and gold secure to the back. With DauT, maybe we'll see a tower rush. With St4rk, maybe we'll see a tower rush. These are 2 players that are capable of almost anything. And so I'm very excited to see. Yeah, okay. First of all, I'm very excited to see that we're rushing up to Castle Age with a market, a blacksmith. House not really necessary, but it is what it is. St4rk having shaved a little bit of time off of going up to Feudal Age with 1 less villager than his opponent. Does reach it 25 seconds ahead, although does have 6 seconds of idle time. I'm not too sure if that 6 seconds was before or after Feudal Age. And so I don't know if that 6 seconds factored into the time advantage he had. All of that is to say, blah, blah, blah. He's heading up to Castle at the 12-minute mark of the game. He is already 15% of the way through before DauT can even complete his blacksmith and market as well. He does have the resources, so the second these complete, I'm expecting to see, once this villager is done, just a little bit of idle time. Very unfortunate, just a few seconds. And there it goes, Castle. 28 villagers for our Berber, 26 for our Gurjara. How much of the map have they seen? How much have they fought? A little bit of HP taken off of this one Camel Scout. He hasn't seen the relic that's right next to DauT's base, although with the camel nearby, might see it very soon. Has seen 1, 2, 3, and a 4th relic. DauT, for his part, sorry for the massive amount of zoom in, also hasn't seen his relic. I say his relic, I mean the relic closer to his base, now sees it. So DauT has seen all 5 relics, as now has St4rk. And so they both know, generally when you have 1 relic this close to your base, you can kind of assume that your opponent also has 1 in the kind of similar vicinity. Age of Empires really is, as much as it can be with random spawnings and RNGs and whatnot, about as fair a game as you can have. You'll never have somebody, for example, with more gold than their opponent or more stone than their opponent. Forests, I don't know. There's plenty of forests to go around here, so not really an issue. 50 seconds away is our Berber, but let's take a look at what our Gurjara decides to do immediately. Places down a monastery immediately, the Ark of the Covenant, the purple one at least. Age of Empires being a game of fantasy where there can be multiple Arks of the Covenant, some purple, some, as we'll see when DauT gets up to Castle Blue. 1 town center. I'm surprised he's going for the very forward town center here. There's a lot of better spots here, I would assume, here or here, even maybe somewhere here next to the, at least you can ship some villagers over to gold. But he's got his spearmen out, and like the Teutonic Scout, this is as good as it gets for the Gurjaras. And DauT with a very defensive castle, not something I expected out of him, as his blue Ark of the Covenant is going to be lowered into its secret compartment, and then monks are going to start popping out. So far, 16 minutes into the game, no kills apiece. It is our Gurjara with a massive 3 army count to 1, who is firmly establishing himself out on the map. The Camel Scout, I believe, does come with a decent attack bonus, plus 12 against cavalry, although now it is a rider, not a scout anymore. He has graduated. He has earned his stripes. Bear kind of looks about, not enough cocaine for me to give a shit about what's going on around the map. And let's see. Are we going to have a kill? Are we going to have any kind of action at this point? I like that he's What is this, an outpost? I've seen a lot more players do this more often. They put an outpost here in the corner, and then they kind of wall it off with houses. Although, you got to be so careful. Stark, pay attention. You have to be so careful here. You do not want to trap that villager, because then you're either going to have to kill the villager or more realistically delete the house. Scout moves in. 2 monks are trying to convert him, and he dies. Oh, okay. So we'll see what he does with this villager, who is now trapped in a prison of his own making, as he gets the first kill of the game. Who ultimately got it? The spearman did. So he gets the relic that's closer to himself, rather the 2 relics that are closer to him. And in come the camel archers. Where are they going? Where are they going with 2 monks here? DauT rushes in. What's the I've been on a bit of a Mel Brooks kick lately, and I've been rewatching the old movies, which is why in yesterday's game I referenced Robin Hood Men in Tights, and I'm gonna reference it again. What's the quote when he deletes his own wall? Oh no, he needs to delete another segment of it. Oh, he deleted the outpost by accident. Oh, this happens to all of us. How annoying is that? Has to rebuild the outpost. 5 whole stone down the shitter. Not exactly the cheap Ethiopian outpost. What's that quote when Robin of Locksley escapes from the prison? Oh, things are going very badly for our Gurjara all of a sudden. Loses his converted camel archer, loses a camel. Now might lose 2 monks as well. But he gets 2 camel archers in exchange. Maybe not for long. What's the quote I'm trying to think of when Robin meets his fellow prisoner who tells him to take care of his son Achu? And he says he is headstrong and cocksure, or he's cockstrong and headsure. I forget what the exact quote is. That reminds me of what DauT was doing here a second ago, just rushing to his death with 2 camel archers. And all of a sudden, we've got 5 kills to 2 in favor of our blue Berber, who is moving forward with villagers and a castle. This is exactly why forward town centers are always a huge roll of the dice when it comes to arena. By the way, behind this, let's take a look at what he's actually got. He's got 41 villagers, so DauT is down 11 villagers. He's up 3 times the army count of his opponent. He's getting bodkin now as well for these camel archers. He's going up to 8. I mean, I get why you delete sections of your wall to let units through, but there's a gate right here. Why the hell did he delete it over here? There's a gate right here. I'm not too sure. Have to ask the man himself at some point. Castle relocated a little bit further back. It looks like a villager and a converted camel archer did perish, as the converted spearman now tries to add a little bit of DPS, 3 whole damage to a wall segment that has 8 armor. So 1 damage, but doesn't really care. He's just here to put on the pressure. He's here to maybe try to get his opponent to make a mistake, overcommit, do something wrong. The more you can pressure your opponent, the better. Now camel archers, monks, spearmen, and castle are all breathing down the Gurjara's neck. And the last thing you want roaming around inside your base is a whole bunch of camel archers with +2 attack and range. Not exactly the hardest hitting of units, but for an archer, a 9 attack, not terrible. Similar to a longbow. Out they pop. Why did they garrison? I'm not too sure. Were they damaged at all? But he's going to discover immediately that there is a Gurjara castle. By the way, beautiful, beautiful structure. There's something to be said about the old school architecture, but man, some of these new castles, some of these new architecture styles are just so beautiful. You guys know my opinion about the Tatar monastery, for example. Ooh, another monk goes down. Another monk goes down. And this is without ballistics, by the way. DauT is making it happen here, raining arrows down on his opponent, who luckily can run away with these villagers. DauT can't go through this gate, but he sends 3 camel archers to the right. Now it is a very, very scary time here in Gurjara land. 3 camels, oh, they got to back away. That town center might kill them all. Nope, just takes out a bunch of HP. Going after the half-completed outpost, taking a break to attack the siege workshop. I mean, he's got a little bit of a narrow piece of land here to travel through, and plus that castle's definitely going to miss. DauT doesn't know, but we know that our Gurjara does not have ballistics as well, and DauT is going up to Imperial. We saw a survivalist rushing his ass up to Imperial yesterday. Today it is our Berber. In the meantime, st4rk is getting economic upgrades. He's going handcart. DauT doesn't even have wheelbarrow. He's finally getting devotion after having a whole bunch of his units converted, realizes it, says, you know what, I might want to keep my units around. But he's kind of been zoned out, and the fact that these units are ultimately still archer units and therefore kind of weak, with a 9 attack, fully upgraded at the moment, attack-wise, means they're going to have a tough time breaking through any kind of infrastructure, because houses come with 9 pierce armor. That being said, when you're just kind of roaming around the map, being as mobile as possible, DauT is using these camel archers fantastically. They are fast, they are tanky. 55 HP is not terrible at all. They can take a punch from a town center. What's happening here? He's going after the siege workshop. Now he's going after some villagers. So DauT's already killed 8 villagers. 9 villagers. 10 villagers. 11 villagers. He still doesn't have ballistics. Still 14 seconds away. These camel archers, they don't miss. They are the Hawkeye of Age of Empires. And look at DauT parked himself in this narrow isthmus between 2 ranged killers. These 2 town centers. 2 kills for you, 0 for you. But he's kind of stuck here. And now he's attacking a house. Again, each one of these camel archers does 1 damage. So DauT's busted in. He's in Imperial in 8 seconds. He's getting Casbah as well. Okay. So he's going to be able to pump out these camels 25% faster. And, by the way, a Treb. There it is. I was going to say, you had 190 gold for a second. I was worried we wouldn't be able to plop a Treb down as fast as possible. But look at our Gurjara. Cool as a cucumber. Realizes that he's also missing ballistics. And so gets up a university of his own. Has a few skirmishers that pop out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. DauT's got to be careful. I mean, at this point, what do you do here as the Berber? Do you keep running around trying to hope that they miss? Or do you close in on their minimum range and try to abuse that? Gurjara Castle is about to fall. And now st4rk, unless he is going up to Imperial in one of these town centers, which he is not, has a very difficult decision to make. Do I double down in Castle Age with a whole bunch of skirmishers? He's going up to 17 and 3 armored elephants. Or do I try to hold off as much as possible? Do I lose 10, 15, 20 villagers, but still rush my ass up to Imperial? The answer seems to be, I'm not sure, a little bit of both. He's got a third of the resources, but then he spends a whole bunch of it on ballistics. So he's going to be doubling down in Castle Age, and he doesn't seem to really mind that his castle is 59 HP. Doom, 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 go the balls, and down goes the castle. He doesn't seem to mind that his base has just been cracked open like an egg. Why? Because, again, these are archer units. So he can just garrison inside this town center. He can just whip out these elite skirmishers, which, by the way, have 2 bonuses against the camel archer. The camel archer's armor, number 1 archer at the top, cavalry archer. These guys have bonuses both against archer and cavalry archer, so 6 extra damage done. So st4rk very confident. He's even doubling down on upgrades on these skirmishers. The only problem for him is, where are these elephants? Okay, they're hiding inside the siege workshop. So he's gonna try to overwhelm DauT with numbers. And DauT, who has access to mounted skirmishers, is taking this fight. I mean, ultimately he wins it, but now how do you how do you deal with this slow plodding force of destruction? Yeah, that Treb's basically dead. The skirmishers should be able to kill it if they target it. Come on, one more javelin, one more javelin. Oh, it stops. The Berbers block it. st4rk deletes his own walls, wants nothing to do with any kind of obstruction, needs to get into the face of this castle, because of course pros are allergic to getting murder holes. And so these elephants, look at how beautiful and slow they waddle with their adorable tails in between that leather harness or that leather clothing that they wear. I don't know what the hell, undergarment. Do elephants wear underwear in Age of Empires? Skirmishers in 40 seconds are gonna have leather archer armor, and so they will be fully upgraded for castle. And I'm surprised that DauT is... Actually, I shouldn't say I'm surprised at DauT. Let's see what he's doing. Nothing back home. Okay, now, okay, never mind. I was gonna say now I'm surprised that DauT is not building a stable, some kind of melee cavalry unit. A camel, a horse. Yeah, build a mule cart. Steal some tech from the Armenians or the Georgians. Build a mule cart. Do something. You're gonna have to deal with these elephants because the presence of these elephants is keeping these trebs back. And without the trebs, DauT might as well be in Castle Age. Yeah, sure, his unit attacks on a +4, but they attack on an 11 against a skirmisher that has 6 armor already and is cheap as shit. So he's got to figure out a way of dealing with these elephant archers. For now, he's getting bloodlines, he's getting thumb ring. I wonder if he's investing a bit too much into upgrades. He is chasing these elephants. Their armor is 140 pierce armor, 180 HP, which means you need literally 180 camel archers to one-shot them. And DauT's camel archers are busy engaging into skirmishers, and no matter how many skirmishers you kill, you are not going to come out the victor in this battle, this exchange of resources. I mean, what is this? One of everything. An archery range for thumb ring. Okay, he built... Oh, the bloodlines was for the camel archers? I thought the bloodlines surely meant he's at least going to transition into light cavalry. I mean, 5 light cavalry units, and this whole army is dead. Okay, but DauT is firmly committed to the meme build as villagers pop out of the castle to try to get rid of the elephants. This is so easy to deal with. And yet it's not being dealt with. 1 castle down, he has 1 back home, so he still can keep training these camel archers 25% faster with Casbah. But like I said, without these trebs, the attack upgrade aside, DauT is in Castle Age. Why the hell did you spend 1,800 resources going up to Imperial if your main Imperial killer is going to be nullified by a few of these beautiful but deadly chunky boys who now are destroying your center infrastructure? And what do you have back home? Yeah, nothing back home. He's got no wood. He has absolutely no wood. He has spent all of his wood on camel archers. We're now pivoting here and killing a bear. Okay. F you, Smokey. I'll start as many forest fires as I want. I will eat as many s'mores on open flames and grill as many hot dogs as I want, says DauT, as he rushes in 2 more die. Bear gets activated, but villager with loom shouldn't have an issue dealing with this. Okay. This is being mined here. I'm surprised that purple didn't go that route straight to the to blue's base, pivoting a bit south. So DauT is catching reinforcements. Great. Now he's going Cavalier. Where was this 10 minutes ago? He's going Cavalier. With 4 stables and 80 gold, he is going Cavalier. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. Light Cav? I get it. Maybe you can't really afford Hussar if you got 160 gold, but you sure as hell can afford the light cavalry upgrade, and light cavalry will wreck this army. Or am I tripping? No? Now you've given the Gurjara the ability to go up to Imperial. He's getting Kshatriyas. All of his military units are going to cost 25% less food. They're going to have bloodlines as well. His mounted units, of which he's got 2 camel riders at the moment. And DauT just keeps finding himself taking these exchanges. Again, he has the stronger unit, a stronger with an asterisk, because there's a big counter unit on the field chasing him away. Where are the elephants? What is going on in this game? I might just title the thumbnail Missed Opportunities here, because both players are just missing a whole bunch of opportunities. Cavaliers with no attack upgrades whatsoever are chasing this. They've closed in on the minimum range 2 Gurjara camels. Remember, he is in castle, so these camels deal 30% more bonus damage to an already powerful, ridiculous bonus damage, and he's going up to 8 more of them. Where are they? I just want to click one so we can see what it is. So it usually is a 9 for a basic camel rider, but 9 and then 30% on top of that. You add 2.7, get to 11.7, and the game rounds it up to the cavalry 12 that you see before you. And now, finally, with the melee body blocker, meat shield, powerful force of death, whatever the hell you want to call these cavaliers, which for some reason are running around doing losing HP. I'm stuttering so much I'm failing to understand what he's doing with them. The trebs feel safe enough. Finally, what should have happened 10 minutes ago is happening, and our Berber is back. He can now deal with the elephants. Would I have preferred if I was a DauT stan, a DauT fan, to see light cavalry instead of 12 cavaliers, to see maybe 30 light cavalry units. I get it. The second any kind of cavalry appears, that Gurjara camel rider shows up and just slaughters you, and in 40 seconds it will be a slaughter because their attack jumps up to an 18, and then you add 40% more on top of that. So I can't really do the math. It's probably what, like 26, 27, 28? DauT running amok to the north. Purple pushing in through the center. The meat shield is gone. It's, like I said, running amok up north. And now they're heavy camels with 40% more bonus. Was I right? 25. Okay. FU grade 11 math. Should have paid more attention. And let's see it. The camel archers should, by the way, do a decent job killing these camels because they have 0 base armor of any kind. Camels are notoriously weak when it comes to their armor upgrades, except of course when you're getting frontier guards. This is an upgrade we almost never see. This is the upgrade that is going to add melee armor plus 4 melee armor to these camel riders in 3, 2, 1. Their melee armor is going to jump from 3 to 7, and the cavalier is just going to die. There's no other way to say it. The cavalier is just basically dead meat. DauT is now sitting at 1/3 of his opponent's army count. His meat shield is gone. He's got 8 cavaliers. Trebs unpacked. They did get a castle. Failed to get the town center here, which is kind of sour. Maybe should have stuck around a little bit. No, maybe should have stuck around a lot of bit. I am definitely going to name the thumbnail. Oh my god. Make the thumbnail title "Missed Opportunities." Both players having opportunities to finish each other off. Oh, that sounds so gross. I'm trying to think how better to put it. DauT had an opportunity to kill our Gurjara many moons ago as he pushed in here, and he had a whole bunch of camel archers. But the beauty of st4rk's infrastructure, the way he placed his buildings, kept DauT trapped in here in this narrow space between these 2 town centers. And he did without bloodlines, by the way. He only realized he was missing bloodlines later, couldn't run around and risk losing them. On the other hand, our Gurjara busted his way into the base and then said, I'm okay. I'm all right. I've gone about as far as I want to go. Turned around and then built a basically unstoppable army. There's nothing here that our Berber can do to stop what's happening now. The Berber, don't get me wrong, there's a lot the Berber could have done. And like I said, I maybe would have preferred to see light cavalry early on, even if it was countered by camels. When DauT was here and pressuring this part of the base, our Gurjara didn't have access to all of the extra resources out on the map that he's taking. Actually, where am I looking here? I think he still had the stone over here, but I don't think he could have mustered the same quantity of camel riders as he could. He definitely, with the Berber breathing down his neck, could not have done both, going up to Imperial and build a big army. The fact that he could do both is because DauT was pushed back, and once he was pushed back, he released all of the pressure from the gas pedal and started playing defense. And when your opponent starts playing defense, that is a good time for you to just go bananas and go up to Imperial, get all the upgrades, get your camel numbers up. How many stables for him? 7 stables, I guess, is all you really need. His camel count isn't that high. So DauT, I think, had a very narrow window when he breached into the base and he took down that castle to just start spamming light cav. I think if he had spammed a bunch of units in Castle Age, 15% cheaper, in Imperial, 20% cheaper. Oh, by the way, that's another interesting similarity I've noticed between, I think these are the 2 cheapest Hussar civilizations in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Kshatriyas makes them 25% cheaper, and the Berber natural charisma, I guess, natural savings mode makes them 20% cheaper. I think these are the 2 cheapest Hussars in the game. And so a lot of potential similarities. Like I mentioned, camel. I'm surprised we didn't get to see any kind of genitors in this game, but DauT just failed to nullify these elephants. Bottom line, if I can sum it all up, instead of just saying missed opportunity, whatever the hell that means, DauT failed to nullify these elephants, and the reason he needed to is because these were keeping these Trebs from doing the maximum damage they could have. These Trebs were literally about to destroy. They got about a quarter of the Gurjara base as dead space. And then the rest they could have easily done building by building, brick by brick, tile by tile. Unfortunately, DauT didn't have any way to deal with these elephant archers except for those few villagers. And I got real excited for him when he was putting down that stable here. But that was just the research bloodlines. So ultimately, he just failed to nullify. So I guess this is really the MVP of the game. This guy kept the Trebs back. And with the Trebs back, he could push out. Oh, maybe this is the real MVP. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Age of Empires, there's no real right answer to almost anything unless it's a very, very simple, straightforward thing. 166 to 73. I mean, this is just a complete loss here for our Camel Archers, even if they take this fight, which I don't think they do. The resources lost, the 50 wood. What is it? 60 gold? 66 gold? 65 gold? I think 60 gold. Peak APM. Ooh, Stark right at the beginning of the game. DauT right at the end of the game. Okay. Well, there you go. Economies. Holy shit. Did our Berber. You know what? I'm saying he should have done this. He should have done that. He can't afford to do anything. He's down 26,000 resources. Oh my goodness. What is that? 60% bigger economy? Relic gold. The relics were split basically evenly, but about 11,000 more wood. Oh my goodness. About 14,000 more food. And when you have Kshatriyas and your military costs 25% less food, you may as well be the Incas. A little bit more gold for DauT, who had that mine in the center of the map, but a lot more stone as well. Conversion count, 4 out of 105, 3 out of 209. Not really the end of the world. And actually, wait, I don't know why I click. You know, sometimes when you want to click something and you click a different button, but you know you're clicking that button, and you're like, oh, why did I hit hide when I wanted to do return to map? And you still click it, even though you know that in your brain, you know that it's the wrong button to click. That's what happened there. I clicked hide, even though I wanted to click the opening up button because I wanted to see raisings. So DauT did ultimately destroy almost twice as many buildings as his opponent. By the way, he did destroy 2 castles, which is not a small feat. But ultimately, this pushback was too much. Our Berber did kill 44 villagers, even with 3 or 4 times more villagers killed. Stark still had a much, much bigger economy, and DauT here killing 206 units. But not hard when you're those units are skirmishers with a meager 35 HP. Now, the Camel Archers still, so they stood their ground very well against these skirmishers, but ultimately, like I said, any exchange of a unique unit or any unit that costs gold for trash, you're not coming out on top unless you just completely wipe the floor and follow it up with a victory, which didn't happen in this case. Where is this camel going? There you go. It's just a camel going in the middle of nowhere, running to protect against something. But ultimately, yeah, I think it's this. I think this unit's the MVP. Not the most kills. I'm surprised he even has 1 kill. Oh, it must be that one Treb. No, what? They killed a villager? Okay, so the elephants have stomped on the head of one of the blue villagers. I'm assuming it was one of the villagers here. But because of these couldn't do anything. And if these couldn't do anything, then yeah, purple just had way too much opportunity to get back into this game. And even though he did miss an opportunity here, ultimately with the massive 4 times bigger army and the 60 to 70% bigger economy, it is Stark, our Gurjara in purple, who takes the W, but GG in a fun back and forth arena game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.